In this video, DawgStrip goes to Alaska. We take Bumblebee on her maiden voyage. 3,200 kilometers and 7 days on the road for another epic road trip.
As you have seen in our previous videos, Bumblebee is our shortened Chevy van. Without so much as a test drive, we head down the driveway with sights on Alaska. Clearly, nothing can go wrong. First trip out for Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, Alaska!
Wah wah wah.
One of our first stops, hopefully not of many. What's happening, Kevin?
We have no brake lights.
They're kind of important.
That's what the police officer does.
After attention was given to the brake lights, we continue on the open road. After a 6-hour cruise, we pull into our campsite and wind down for the evening. Day 1 review, we managed to travel 450 kilometers on the van's maiden voyage. Bumblebee did great. There are obviously some driveline issues. One, when you tromp on the gas, the U-joint lifts up and hits the cross member, so that can be fixed with a hammer. But we've got a wicked vibration / noise when the van is coasting. No gas, no engine braking. So we've got developed a really crazy driving technique of give it a little bit of gas or just lift your foot. It's pissing everyone off behind us.
Out here in the wild, why, there's none of that internet. No, sir. So, we hit the open road. Another highway cruise to our next destination, Houston, BC.
Look at this is the road. Slide deep here. Shortcut.
If you don't know by now, we love exploring old abandoned locations. By we, I mean one of us.
And one of us has no interest in bears, ticks, tetanus, spiders, finding bodies.
So far, the travel has been good, with the driveline issues not getting any worse. We spent the day in Houston having a great visit with family. This alone made the trip fantastic.
At the beginning of day 2 of our trip, what exactly are you doing now?
Or day 3 for those of you paying attention.
We're currently changing the transmission mount because the transmission is lifting up and the drive shaft is hitting a cross member. We may have to cut and massage the cross member, but this is step 1, replacing transmission mount.
It's time to be back on the open road. Not long after, we stumble across a huge abandoned lumber mill. Or what remains of it, rather.
This is amazing.
We learned later that this was the old Canterbury Mill site, shut down back in 2001. Now, it's just a massive parking lot left in the wilderness.
Oh, you can look down through. Oh, it's a single lane. Amazing. Whoa. Holy shit snacks. Oh. Yeah. Where? Right there.
North to Alaska. We came across plenty of abandoned locations. And once again, Kevin jumping out of the vehicle, wandering about, looking to be the next missing person statistic.
I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause I'm alright. I don't want you to tell me it's time to come home.
our next accommodations, we just Googled while on the road. Randomly, we came across the fantastic treehouse cabins near Terrence and found them adorable.
And next was the start of a very long day. It started out with nature viewings, trail hiking, and scenic drives, taking us to some beautiful locations, some amazing waterfalls, even an exploded lava bed, until finally we edged deeper into Pacific rainforest.
At this point, we go off on a side quest. We heard about a huge ghost town in the area, but our route intel was sketchy at best. But we did know it was a few hours down some old Forest Service roads.
We've heard different reports that it's a good road, it's a bad road, it's a Forest Service road, and we'll see just how far we get. If not, it's going to be like a 6-8 hour detour. So let's hope for the best. Whoa! Here we are on the Forest Service Road out to a ghost town, and we're finding all kinds of awesome stuff. Check this out, a Capri Estate station wagon. You know, that's been there a while. Hopefully we don't suffer the same fate.
Not sure how many of you remember the gambler event in which Kevin found the road. And the GPS said this road does not exist.
I'm okay.
Can you guess where we're going now? Another road that does not exist.
As we continue onwards, the trees started to slowly encroach on the road. In my defense, if you look at our GPS, it still shows this as a passable road.
The battle continued, man against nature, and nature was winning. Bumblebee's paint would never be the same again, and as time went on, our concerns began to grow. This based on the fact this was a spontaneous quest, and no one knew exactly where we were. After 4 hours into the woods, the trail washed out, and we were forced to turn back. It's a warning sign. It's saying road deactivated. After nearly 6 hours, we discovered the road was deactivated.
We proved it for science.
After another 6-hour drive, we're nearly back where we started our day. This time crashing for the night at a highway side wreck site.
So after 12 hours on the road, we decided to have a nice cup of pot noodle. It's becoming a tradition.
That's right. Class and ghetto.
That kind of scares me. Being awoken by an invasion of bloodthirsty mosquitoes, we decided to hit the road early. With Alaska inching closer, we explore the town of Stewart, BC, with plenty of abandoned locations to explore right in town.
This is gonna like a little history thing here. This was the Empress Hotel, built in 1908 by German financiers. It is Canadian Northwest Railroad. Initial cost of $100,000.
$100,000?
In fact, we arrived so early, nothing was open. We carried on into Hyder, Alaska, and then further on towards the Salmon Glacier, climbing over 1,000 feet along the goat path of a mountain road.
Bumblebee is very unstable, let alone on snow. Heading up this goat path, we got a cliff down the driver's side. She skidded out. We looked right down a cliff. So, my nerves are now shot. They were fading to begin with, and we got a good enough view of a glacier. Now we're going home. Fuck it, I'm done. How much fun was that?
It was great fun until we hit the snow and ice patch and did pretty much a 180 in the van. We nearly shat our pants when Bumblebee veered toward the edge of the cliff. Thus, we decided to stop and take in the view. The Salmon Glacier is the largest glacier in the world accessible by car, and we almost made it. Bumblebee clearly did not enjoy the snow, and it took us a while to get her turned around before heading back down the mountain.
We head back down to Hyder and explore the ruins of the little ghost town and the scenic sites thereabouts. We decided the town's traditional shot of Everclear was a poor idea, as neither of us had eaten yet that day.
Already exhausted after the early morning rise, we wander back into Stewart in hope of finding accommodations. We were delighted when we stumbled across this little cabin. Built in the 1920s, this made for a fantastic place to rest our bones.
So here's our authentically antique cottage, and we've done that to it.
It's still antique, we just modernized it.
It's all the luxuries of modernness.
An early start the next day has us back on the road in a homeward direction.
So what we're doing now, we're attempting the ghost town again. 2 days later, we have completely circumnavigated the mountain. Well, 90% now. So we're going in from the other side. We'll see how bad the road gets this way. We may or may not be going much further.
After 3 hours of horrible logging roads, we finally came upon the ghost town. However,
that was not meant for your eyes. We got in there, found the caretakers, made our presence known, but in order to see the town and drive around, no cameras. So we promise you, that was incredible. It's not meant for your eyes. Sorry.
400 kilometers later, we now despise gravel roads.
So after 7 hours of logging roads, was the ghost town worth it?
After 7 hours being bounced around and shaken like a martini, I want a martini.
My kidneys hurt. From here on, we take the next 2 days to slowly wander the 1,100 kilometers home, definitely winding down.
Now the scary thing in Bumblebee is that the warning brake light has come on, but we figured out that the e-brake cable is not connected, so the pedal is slowly vibrating down. All you gotta do is push the pedal back up, light goes out, life is good. After 3,200 kilometers and 7 days on the road, we are home.
And she drove like a tank. We love it.
Good girl.
In the next DawgStrip, Bumblebee goes south. We head down to Seattle for the start of the Jalopy Journeys Surf to Sky Rally, a navigational challenge for beater cars. Beach cruising and fireworks galore. Stay tuned for this one.
Welcome home. How was your day at work?
It was a tough day in the mine.
You can't stand up.
Welcome to the 1900s, where men were men and mines were short. Not the vintage duct tape. There was no Wi-Fi. Unacceptable.